more than you could ever want in terms of Columbus cuisine and events there. Well done. So congratulations there, Mike.
Yep.
All right. 6 games in, so we've got mid-season report cards and grades to hand out to a certain extent. We don't need to go through every player on the roster or every position, but Tony, we'll start with you in regards to what stands out after half a season. Has anybody jumped out that you can give a gold star to?
Gold stars, yeah, if you're asking like one person area player that is standing out above what they did last year, that's Tommy Eichenberg for me. He's been fantastic. He should be getting more notice than he is. That may come once they start playing bigger teams and play some more big noon kickoff games. Michigan's taken them all, but just the way he's playing and the way he's leading this defense and playing so much better than he did last year and playing faster, and everybody in this defense is. So if there's a gold star, yeah, it's probably him, although, you know, it's hard to ignore the receivers, hard to ignore Mine Williams, but that was the first guy that popped into my mind, so I went with it.
What do you think, Steve? What stands out after 6 games?
I think how great they've been on offense, how great the offensive line has played, only giving up 4 sacks in 6 games, and how the defense is coming along. Although, as we say, the proviso, the Power 5 teams they've played, the 4 of them, none of them are probably in the top half of the country offensively, with Notre Dame, Rutgers, Michigan State, and Wisconsin. I doubt any of them are in the top half of the country in yards or points. So, you know, tap the brakes a little bit on that. And we'll know more maybe after they play Penn State in a couple of weeks in regards to that. And Iowa certainly isn't, you know, down at the bottom. That's kind of my thought, is that cautiously optimistic about the defense and excited about where things could go offensively if you throw Jackson Smith-Njigba and healthy running backs into the mix. Like they had at the beginning of the season, the mix of those 2 guys running the football was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I broke down what Ohio State's done through 6 games this season versus 6 games last season. And all right, Toledo is the best offense that they've faced this year. I mean, just statistically, it's Toledo. But let's be real. Last year, I mean, they didn't necessarily go through a murderer's row outside of whatever you wanted to say about Oregon. Ohio State is allowing 133.8 fewer yards per game under this Jim Knowles defense, 38 fewer rushing yards, 96 fewer passing yards, and more importantly, 4.8 fewer points per game, 20.5 to 15.7. I think during these shows during the summer, and we were like, so what would be the mark of improvement if this Ohio State defense is what, 20% better, 25% better? Well, in terms of scoring defense, I mean, and they're diminishing returns on here, because you're never going to sit there and have a scoring defense of 0 over the course of the season. Teams are just going to score points. It's just the way it works when you respect the game and you put your 2s and 3s out there and you don't let them run the offense and run they're trying to run the defense. I think we're seeing that the Jim Knowles defense is working, and so much of that is on top of the fact of they had 6 scholarship corners going into the season, and they've not had 6 of them at any given point of this year, and they've had 3 at certain points. So they've been dealing with this, that, and the other. I think one of the big things out there too is people want to point out that Ohio State hasn't necessarily forced a lot of turnovers in this year, but once again, with Ohio State allowing 133.8 fewer yards per game through 6 games. Something's working, and I don't think that it's a matter of needing the turnovers. And one final thing, too, they need to figure out what they're doing on kickoffs. They put 3 of them out of bounds. Stop doing that.